So the candles don't actually predict anything, right? So you're not looking for a sweep or a breaker structure. You're not looking for any of those concepts, because what really happens here, right? Let's break this down. If you look for a breaker structure here, right? Let's say that's your break. The move has happened here, and you have no idea that you wanted to enter as the move was happening, right? So this is what we mean by the now time frame, right? It is the real time analysis of buy and sell orders, right? So again, you can take whatever strategy you want and just put order flow on, right? This is the order flow itself. So if we again break down what this means, this is how an order flow platform looks like. So again, what are we seeing here? What's going on inside? So I'm going to make a separate order flow series videos on exactly what this means and how you can use it. But just for basic knowledge for this video over here, inside of the candles is we have these numbers, right? So we have these numbers all throughout the candle. Every candle has these numbers. Now, it is your job to read the numbers, and it's your job to understand what this means over here, right? It's not the candles that give you the data. It is the actual order flow of the buyers and sellers that make up the candle, right? So you want to understand order flow is not a strategy by itself. It's not the holy grail, right? It's not a way of predicting the markets either. You need to have a system behind that, right? And it's not an indicator. So again, what you want to understand is that order flow is simply giving you supply and demand zones, right? That's the only thing order flow is actually responsible for, right? Order flow is responsible for giving you supply and demand zones, right? That's the only thing order flow is responsible for. So once you understand that, right, you can begin to kind of position your trades, right? So for example, this turned out to be a supply zone. I'm going to make future videos on this. This turned out to be a supply zone. And for example, if we have a demand zone, it would look something like this. So again, I'm just choosing these out of thin air. I just want you to get the point. So for example, this is a 15-minute zone. If I mark this out like this here acts as a demand zone right over here. So when we kind of dive into the candles, there are specific things you can look at because you don't know that this is actually going to be a reaction higher. So the mistake traders make is that they try and predict the markets through ego instead of trying to actually react to what the markets are doing and trading in that direction. That, I promise you, will make your trading a lot easier in the long run, right? Being able to predict price action instead of being able to react to price action that's happening in front of you, as opposed to sitting there blind and trying to predict it, right? Because fair value gaps don't mean anything. So in 2026, fair value gaps don't mean anything. Sweeps don't mean anything. Nothing means anything, right? All you're looking for is, the real, so I'm going to finish on this definition. You are looking for a real time analysis of buyers and sellers, right? And that is applicable only from